Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today's going to be a cool episode because I picked up a Sporty and, it was sitting some lady's barn for a while, and, they were tired of trying to get it running and all that kind of stuff, and they ended up getting a new bike. So they put it up for sale, and, got in contact with them and was able to take it home. And it's a 98, so had a lot of like dirt and stuff just from, sitting in a barn and all that. So I cleaned it up, and it's actually a nice little bike. So I'll give you guys a little walk around of the bike and check it out, and then I got to get it running and see what's going on with it. But should be a quick fix. I mean, maybe just rebuild the carb, throw some plugs in it, and drain the gas tank out, and throw a battery in it, and probably fire right up. But you guys know how it is working on old bikes. It could be a bunch of other stuff. I don't know yet, but pretty confident this will fire right up. It seems like the last owner took pretty good care of it. So yeah, let's check it out. Yeah, so it had a ton of little dust and cobwebs on it. And I just washed it, man. And that chrome really just brightened up, man. It looks really good. It's a 98. So, I mean, it's going to have a little bit of wear and tear, but I mean, let's see if you can see the fork tubes are polished. There's a little bit of pitting, but I'm going to try to polish that up and get those all out. The motor looks clean. That's a good looking motor. It's got drag pipes on it and all that, floorboards for, comfortable cruising. And let's see. Yeah, chrome oil tank cover, Salem County, Elmer, New Jersey. So this thing might have been up north, but, it looks like it was pretty well maintained. They got like speakers and lights and all that kind of stuff on this bike. So they were saying when I bought it that they had problems with the battery, and so I'm just gonna yank it out, and I've already taken the battery out. But I mean, as you can see, like lots of wiring and all that kind of stuff from aftermarket stuff. So I'm gonna get rid of all that, and because it's probably just putting a draw on the battery somewhere in that on all those wires. So I'm just gonna go back to factory. All right, so this battery right here was the one that was in the bike. I think possibly it's obviously not holding the charge, so something's bad, but I think the ground, because this thing, the post is super wiggly. So I'm wondering if it's, you can see it moving around. Super loose. I could probably pull it out really easily. So I think something's broken in there where it's not contacting, but yeah, it's not charging. And then the other battery that I had laying around, this one right here, is not holding charge either. So looks like I'm going to be buying a $200 battery. And so I'll have to do that tomorrow. But I'm going to have to tear apart all this lights and stuff like that off it. So I'll get to that. All right, so got all those wires off the bike, and went ahead and put my jump box on there and turned on the key, and it seems like it's got power, so I'm just gonna have to get a battery. But it's been sitting a long time, so I already know like it's gonna need a carb rebuild. So I'm gonna have to drain the gas, and tomorrow I'll go pick up some parts when I'm getting the battery and get a carb kit for it. And until then, there's some pitting and stuff like that on the chrome. So I'm going to use some really fine steel wool and show you guys how to get some of that pitting off. All right, so here's all the pitting. You can see it in the chrome. Now, depending on how bad it is, not all of it's going to come off, but I can put some really fine steel wool on there and clean it up and make it look pretty close to new, and after I polish it. But all the chrome on the bike's kind of like that. You can see some spots right there in the outer primary, and but I think it'll clean up pretty well. And yeah, so you just take some steel wool like this, some fine steel wool, and don't press on it too hard, but I'll just and as you can see, it got most of it off, so. All right, so this is after I just did the primary, and man, you can see a big difference in that. I also did the side cover and the chrome swing arm. But yeah, you can see the difference in it. Looks really good. So I'm gonna have to do that to the entire bike. Got the air cleaner off. I'm gonna start rebuilding this carburetor. As you can see, the fuel line's really old. I don't think that's ever been replaced, so we're gonna replace that. And I'm gonna get going on rebuilding this carburetor, get this thing fired up. Got the carburetor all torn apart, and it's in a bunch of little tiny pieces, so I'm gonna slap it back together, and then I gotta get some parts from the store, fix some vacuum lines, and get a battery. We'll get this thing running. All right, so I pulled off the fuel valve, and it's a vacuum one, so hopefully this works. I don't have a vacuum gauge to see if it's gonna hold pressure or not, but I think it'll be fine. I pulled out the screen and I cleaned it off the best I could, so drained all the old nasty gas out of there, and I'm gonna put it all back together, and hopefully this thing fires up. Got a new battery for it, and I think we'll be riding it here soon. All right, so this vacuum line that connects to here to the tank was broken. So I'm gonna replace that really quick also. All right, so I got a new battery. I'm gonna slap this thing into the bike, and these are a real pain to like kind of hold in there. So a little trick I do is I take the a zip tie, okay? And I fold it, and I shove that in there. That way it holds it in place. See if you can see that. And it holds that little screw in there, so it's a lot easier to put that in. So let's get this thing in here. I'll just need to get gas in it, and let's start it up. fuel valve. Thanks for sticking around and watching the video, guys. I truly appreciate it. And don't forget to like and subscribe, and go on my website, JAMESCYCLESUPPLY.com. And I got some new merch, new t-shirts, new hats, and I got a bunch of really cool parts that I hand make on there. And I'll show you guys a couple shots of my handlebars and stuff like that after this clip. And yeah, hit me up on Instagram, James_cycle_supply. And see you on the open road.